Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chiseled. And why do we call it Chiseled? Because we're all work in progress. I'm your host, Rob Commodore. I'm also the author of the book Better Than You Think, and I co-authored the book with several other authors in the book Next Level Your Life with Kyle Wilson. So today I have a guest with me is Alice Tang. Alice Tang, she works with BPG Wealth Management. She says financial confidence is no longer a luxury; it's a necessity. Her goal is to put women in control of their financial future. Too often, women are suddenly thrust into handling their finances either after the death of a spouse or divorce. Her mission is to build financial confidence in women so they can take charge of their financial future. She says money relates to our past, beliefs, and our relationships. She's here to help you uncover your financial story and illuminate your financial possibility and freedom. She is a dynamic speaker and a woman of faith, and she's a qualifier for the top of the table $1 million round table. Alice, all the way from Oregon, Portland, Oregon, welcome to the show.
Rob, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So tell us a little bit of your backstory. How did you get into financial services, and along the way, you have this niche that you want to help women.
I am an immigrant, so if you hear an accent, I'm really, this is really my second language. So I immigrated to United States about 29 and a half years ago. And I cannot call it immigration because I followed my husband to come to the country because he got a job offer from a high-tech company. So being the submissive Chinese Oriental wife, of course, is yes, I'm coming with you. So I came without working permission. I'm allowed to stay here illegally. And I have learned about how to drive. I never thought I needed to drive a car because in the Far East, if you think about in Hong Kong and in Tokyo, the cities that we have lived and he has worked in, we have very good mass transit railways that can take us anywhere. Any place you don't want to walk, you can take a taxi easy. But I never thought I needed to learn how to drive, but I did. And life starts from there. In my first few years of life in USA, I was a dependent on a work visa. That means I could not work. Although money is not a problem because my husband had a very good, well-paid full-time job. That's why he's recruited to United States. But I was alone all the time because he works really hard. And I had no friends, no network, no support. And God granted us the finance so that we can pay our mortgage and expenses. But it's really lonely. And it made me feel very unsettled or maybe unsafe. And my self-esteem has really gone down to the bottom. So I'm going to stay as much as that. And Rob, if you have any questions, continue.
That's great. So you talk about the loneliness, being unsettled, unsafe, self-esteem, and your goal, it seems like your niche is women, right? You want to help women. Do you want to help women because you went through what you went through and you feel like there's a lot of women that feel just like you felt?
I'm going to answer this in two ways. The first way is I'm sure that there are women who can relate to me, although they might not be an immigrant. They may not have taken away their working ability, so they can still contribute to the family finance. But the bottom line is, I think being a woman, I just felt like a lot of times we were told that we are not enough. Maybe it's told directly to us, and maybe that is implied. You have to be tall enough, and unfortunately, I'm less than 5 feet tall. You have to be beautiful enough. I'm okay. I don't feel that I look ugly, but I'm not as pretty as some of the other younger, beautiful blonde women, and I'm not blonde. You are not capable enough to handle a job. And I still remember this is my 23rd year in business. When I first went into a qualifying event from $1 Million Roundtable. It's a worldwide function. I know those people who have my hair color welcome me, and then the other people would look at my badge before they greet me, because I could have been the assistant
Right.
to any, what we call financial advisor or producer. I just happened to come along and learn more about the practice to be able to contribute to the producer. So those things that were subtle, but was telling me that maybe I need to work harder. I need to be better in order to be at the same level as our other majority agenda in my industry. It's a male-dominated industry.
Right. Well, what took you down the road of financial services? Why financial services?
Well, if I tell you, Rob, it's an accident, would you believe it?
No, that's fine. It is what it is.
After I got my green card, I went back to Portland State U to finish my master's degree. And of course, I didn't have any network. I didn't know who to apply to. So I went back to the Career Center of Portland State University, my university, and asked for help. They said, well, a financial company is coming in for interview. Would you like to sign up? I said, sure. Why not? And when I first met with the person who was going to interview me, his first name is Pat. He looked like a teddy bear to me. I really want to hug him. And he's really gentle and kind. It's not like, he feel like he's better than me, or he's definitely taller than me. But he made me feel so safe. So we started a kind of conversation like friends. He invited me back to the office to further interview with other people in the office to make sure that I'm the right fit. So accident, I took an opportunity,
Right.
and I just keep walking in faith, not knowing what happened.
Yeah.
And here I am 23 years later.
So 23 years in financial services. Now you say, you want, your mission is to build financial confidence in women, but is it more than financial confidence? Is it confidence as a whole? Because you talked about being lonely, unsettled, unsafe, and a low self-esteem. So is it more than the financial piece?
Yes. So confidence, financial confidence is a big piece to feel more confident. And the reason is, think about a woman who does not have the means to make her ends meet. And if she's going to separate in a relationship that she has been holding on for the sake of, just wanted to make sure that she's being taken care of, it's so hard to make that decision. And I just feel that if women are more financial savvy, and they don't need to have all the money, they're ready to retire or walk away, and without working, they're making it. But if they are having the confidence that their future will be taken care of, regardless of what happened, because they believe in themselves and their capacity to make it work, it makes a huge difference. And money is a funny thing. When you have it, you might take for granted of it. You just don't care. Well, how much is this? I pay for it, right? But when you don't have it, everything is a stress. And we heard about one of the highest argument at home between the couple. It's money.
It's financial, right? Exactly.
Or how you spend the money.
So when you talk to these women and about the financial confidence, does self-esteem come into play? Does loneliness come into play in those conversations at all?
Not necessarily the loneliness. And I felt maybe I'm worthy or I'm not worthy. So let's differentiate. If we talk about self-confidence, it could be situational, right? When you are very new in a job, you don't have confidence. But when you continue to build, you might have more self-confidence. That's one. Self-esteem or self-worth is different. It's really a belief in you. And that belief would have been started from when you're a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, when you're very, very young. For me, I had a tiger mom. So she always hold a bar for me to jump to. Anytime I reach that bar, although I'm very short, I'm very good in jumping, she raised the bar.
Yeah.
So in her world, I need to perform. I need to perform to be loved, to be validated, to be recognized. So she might mean really good because, well, of course, a high performer have a high chance to succeed in the future world. If something happened to her, she doesn't need to worry about me. Well, very good intent. But for me, I've always think that I need to hit what she expected me to hit in order to be validated, recognized, and loved.
Do you still
And
believe
that,
that today?
huh?
Do you still believe that today?
I still believe part of it today. And that's how I share with you before this podcast. I said I am having a very curious mind. I happened to Google about self worth, and 85% of the population suffer from lack of self worth. I'm not saying all the time, but at some time. So if today we are cutting this 5 minutes time together, 85% of the population is suffering from lack of self worth. Only
Yeah.
15% of the people are feeling good about themselves. And why? Because they are tiding their worth into the doing. Doing meaning performance, and being meaning I'm having value. Even I fail in this project, even I fail in my marriage, even I fail making a good decision in buying the right investment for my retirement account. Even I failed to qualify for a position. Even my idea was the dumbest idea around the table. I still have value. But
Right.
when we suffer from self-worth or lack of self-worth, there are a lot of times Rob, you might observe this in your lifetime, we hold back from saying what we want to say. We hold back from advocating for ourselves. We hold back from advocating for somebody else. Because what if? Worst case scenario, this made me so dumb, look so dumb, or I failed.
Was there a moment in time when you said, I'm not going to have this low self-esteem anymore, this low self-worth? Was there like okay, you crossed the point financially, or was there something that triggered, this is all this is all I can stand. I can't stand it no more. Because I know we all still struggle with self-esteem and self-worth at times, but I would think, and I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, you probably struggle with it less now than you used to. Is that a fair
Thank you
statement?
for saying that. That's where I'm heading. So here is where my faith comes in. Um, when you walk in faith, you let go of the consequence. You let go of the results. This does not mean that you're not trying your best. You can only try your best, but sometimes when we try our best doesn't mean that we have the expected result that show up. And the expected result may not be, in general, the best for us.
Right.
And who knows what's best for us?
So when did you have that? When did you have that aha moment? When did that light bulb go off for you?
The light bulb go off for me multiple times in my life. The one time was when I was truly struggling as a stay-at-home wife with no status to work here.
Okay.
I didn't feel good about myself. My behavior wasn't good, and that impact my married relationship or marriage, because how
Right.
I look at the world is different. And it was at a point of time where I was at my lowest time, where my knees was on the floor. I was praying for something to change. But little did I know that I was the one I had to change.
Yeah. And
No one needs to change, and I cannot control anybody.
so what happened in that moment when you said, okay, you realized I'm the one that had to change? Okay. What did you change? Your thinking? Was it just a thinking thing, or what changed?
What changed was, for some reason, I thought about, well, if I have a permanent residentship or equivalent to a green card, it may be different. Why didn't I think of it? Right? So
Right.
I asked my husband about that, and he said, "Well, I didn't make the decision." So we just decided that why don't we just ask the company and see where they're intending, because he has a work visa at the time. I'm a dependent on a work visa. It would be much nicer if he could have green card and also the green card cover me. Then I could choose to work, choose not to work, choose to, of course I can go to school. So life might be different.
Right.
So guess what? When he asked, he got it. So the lesson is do ask.
Yes.
Even sometimes it might be a no, because 50% of the chance you're going to get it.
Right, exactly. So then if it's yes or no, maybe they'll say, I don't know, which is a small percentage, but it's yes or no, 50-50 shot. So
Yes.
you started, this first light bulb goes off and you start creating, is it fair to say, momentum in your life?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what did that look like?
Well, then, because of that, they gave me, once I got my green card, they gave me the curiosity and the possibility. So the eyes really open up and become clear. So I said, why don't I just went back to college to get a degree? And the goal is to, of course, to acclimate into the society.
Yeah.
When who do you hang out with? You can't hang out with the neighbors, wives. They are all wonderful people, but they couldn't get me back to the career woman that I used to be.
Yeah.
So going back to school, you hang out with your professor or other people who is looking for jobs. You're learning together. I mean, when you get busy too on something that is meaningful, at least at the time to me, you forget about feeling a pity for yourself.
Okay.
So take your mind off into something else. Some people exercise, some people eat. I hope not, but for me is I have a very outgoing personality. I'm an extreme extrovert, actually. Hanging out with people and communicating with them empowered me.
So let me ask you something, because you just said you're extremely extroverted person, correct? So you're feeling lonely, you got low self-esteem, unsettled, but you're extroverted. So did you use that? Let me ask you this way. Did you always know you were extroverted? Have you always been that way? So that to me would be like a tool for you to use to get out there and then network and meet these people and help lift your confidence, your self-esteem and all that, right?
Exactly, exactly. And I think I also love to give to people. If I see people in need, I'm not hesitant to give generously. What I have, I mean, my usual saying would be like, as long as you don't ask for my first grandchild, I'll try to make it work within reasons. That means within reasons.
Uh-huh. That's great. That's great. So so now you're feeling really good about yourself. You have your moments. How do you walk women or clients? How do you walk them through the process of building not only their financial confidence, but their self-esteem? Or do you combine the two at all?
Most people do not come in and said, hey, I have very low self-esteem around finances. Actually, I feel very bad I look dumb about finances. They never tell that. Most people walk through the door asking the question. Just my clientele, right? How I target it. Um, I got this much. When can I stop working if they're a career woman?
Right.
If they just got into divorce, I mean, I got this settlement, right, from the divorce decree. Do you think it will last for my lifetime, or will I outspend it? I have to go back to Walmart and open doors. So those are the questions they ask. Okay. So earlier part of my career, I would say my first 15, 16 years, I focused on writing the financial plan for them. So take the information, take what they have, know what they expense, right? Know what
Right.
the income is, and then we can factor into inflation and all that and map that out. So if anyone has gone through a very simple exercise, they know what I mean. We have a
Right.
financial roadmap. But in the last 6 to 7 years, what I've noticed is if your mindset has not changed, you're always going to worry about money. My goal is to have people have confidence in their finance so that they are resilient. They don't need to worry. Not that you absolutely not worry, but you wouldn't worry that much compared to somebody who has not gone through working with me or somebody like me. There are a lot of good advisors out there. So there's a lot of things about here. So what do I mean? I'll give you an example. I have a very successful female client who have a great share percentage at the company. But those money are not cash yet until she retire, until the company sell. Is that true?
Right. Okay.
So you have a very strong income. But when you have this strong income, a few $100,000, a lot, plus all this distribution, you have the lifestyle of that dollar amount. Okay. So where do you save? If the company continue to grow, if you can sell the share at the time when you retire, yes, that's great. But in the meantime, she is a beautiful, generous woman. She saw a family member who's in need. She quickly stepped up and wrote a check to this family member. Is in the 5-digit range. Okay, so we're talking about a woman who is getting close to retirement, have strong income and somewhat good savings, but not a lot of asset. The asset is all in company. Okay. I was shocked, surprised about how generous she is to this family member. But I also wonder what is the underlying reason of giving. So I went ahead, just on the side, have a good chat. Come to understood that when she was growing up, she was told by family that you should be satisfied with what you have. You're so lucky to have what you have. Look at other people who don't have that. So that's the mindset. So when she has some saving, she wanted to give it away instead of thinking first, when I give it away, will that impact the number of years I'm working before
Right.
I stop? So those kind of things is really, it takes a change of mindset. I'm not opposed to giving. Actually, we just talk about I'm a generous person. If you ask me to write a check, if you are not asking me to give you my first grandchild, I'm giving it to you, to the nonprofit.
Be careful. Be careful. By the end of this podcast, I'm going to ask you to write me a check.
But the thing is, I am 100% certain that even if I write the same check to you, it has no impact on my finance.
Good. So then, are you a tither?
Huh?
Are you a tither? Do you tithe?
Yes.
And so have you been systematically doing that for a long time?
Yes.
Good. And so what sense of appreciation do you get when you do that?
It's not necessarily the external appreciation. I just felt that, we cannot take what we have when we go see God. We can't. We are eventually the good steward. Of course, there is the rule of thumb, right? You heard about, I think Dave Ramsey or anybody would say, you when you got your income or money, you save some, you use some, you give some.
Yeah, there you go. I agree with you. So then how is your, you said you're a woman of faith. Have you always been a woman of faith, or was there something else that triggered that?
I'm always a Christian, but when I say believer or woman of faith, I would say that after I came into United States, because of the story I told you, Rob, just now, that made me feel that God is always there. He's ready to guide me, but I was majority of the time at that time too busy to listen to the guidance. So when you're too busy, you can't align.
Right.
The message is not coming through. You imagine you're too busy checking your email one of the emails said there is $1 million waiting for you. You're too busy. You can't see it.
So what have you done to slow down?
Good question. It's hard. However, right now I get into my daily virtual. The daily virtual is when I get up, I thank God that I'm still breathing oxygen. And I can, when I open my mouth and say, ah, ha, ha, I can see, I can hear. So good that my husband is snoring next to me. Because the alternative is not good, right? So give some thanks. And then I wake up. Of course, we will go to, what we need to go necessary, like going to the bathroom. More details to come. And then I would read my Jesus Calling. I would listen to the Daily Bread podcast.
There you go. I have
and
that.
Then I would write my journal.
Okay.
I would do my stretch exercise. I'm not an exercise person, but because I'm getting old, I heard, well, if you're not flexible when you fell, imagine that you may be on a wheelchair forever.
That's funny.
So I stretch. I drink a lot of water, and I take time to breathe.
There you go. So you've had a good life. You came over from China. You felt that loneliness. You're a pretty confident woman now. You're doing well. You're helping other women. How much more chiseling do you got going on in your life? How much more is God going to chisel you?
Would you ask that question again? I didn't quite get it.
How much more chiseling do you feel God's got going on for you? Is he going to keep plugging away at you, or you're done?
No, I think my life just began.
Okay.
I think my life just begins because lately, it's only in the last 12 to 24 months I had another breakthrough. The breakthrough is about letting go. We talked about it just now. And I'll give you this. You heard about the serenity prayer.
Mm-hmm.
The serenity prayer says, God grant me the acceptance to the things that I couldn't control, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. Yeah,
beautiful. That's beautiful.
So in my earliest years, up to about 24 months ago, I focused on the first one. I thought, if I could accept the things that I cannot control then I know what I need to do, which is the courage to do the things within my control.
Yeah.
But the problem is I was not asking for wisdom.
Yeah.
So here is the scenario. Imagine Alice Tang, 5 feet tall, running against a brick wall. Keep running there. And you see blood on the wall.
Uh-huh.
I want to change it, right? Because there should be a hole in there I can walk through. So you saw blood, you're not getting anywhere.
Uh-huh.
In the last 12 to 24 months, I realized that all I need to do is to really quiet my mind and ask for the wisdom. Because when I can tell the difference between what I can change and what I cannot, and not mistakenly think that I could change something that really I could not, I'm saving a lot of time. And those time and energy can be applied to the area where I can make the most impact. Whatever that is.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So, Alice, as we wrap up here, that's just great stuff. I love the serenity prayer. Like I said, I was saying earlier, I have the Jesus Calling. I use that. In fact, I'm reading the Book of Wisdom right now as of this recording. So that's pretty cool too. So if somebody wanted to get hold of you, if another woman or anybody in general wanted to get a hold of you for financial planning and whatnot, how would they do that?
They can email me at alice@bpgnetwork.com. I'm sure that it will be in your show notes. They can always use LinkedIn to find me, Alice Tang, no middle initial. That's it.
There you go.
They say, or find Rob because he's linked with me. So you can go through his Rolodex and type TANG Tank.
Hey, you're dating us now. You should use the word Rolodex. You're dating us. Making us look old. The Rolodex. So, Alice, I'll say this to wrap it up. I say they say dynamite comes in small packages, right? And you're 5 foot, 5 foot whatever, right? And you're a small woman, you say here, but you're full of dynamite, you're full of energy. I appreciate you sharing what you shared today. And I'm sure you're helping a lot of women out there, and they appreciate you as well.
Thank you. And the goal is to one woman at a time. And we're in a ministry. It's not about money. It's about what is the ministry behind what the work that you and I do.
That's beautiful. Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you, and I look forward to staying in touch with you.
Yes, it's a pleasure to know you and get to know you through Mary Lou Kaiser.
That's right. I should have recognized that early on. We were introduced to each other by another person I interviewed here, Mary Lou Kaiser. So thank you for that, Mary Lou. Well, good stuff. Thank you, Alice. And until next time, everybody, let's go get chiseled.